Oh my God, you guys. How annoyed am I right now? I just literally did an entire Facebook Live for 20 minutes with no sound. So my mic was muted. My housekeeper's here. Oh my God, thank God my housekeeper's back. It's like the best thing ever because I've been cleaning my house for like 5 straight months. Anyway, and she was cleaning my desk and she must have hit the mute button on my mic. I did not realize till I was done with my entire Facebook Live and you guys were on and nobody mentioned it. I just kept noticing people coming and going and I was like, that's so weird. We usually have our like regular people. So I just did this entire live with no sound. So I deleted it and we're going to do this all over again. It's actually a really good one. So see, now there's people here. Were any of you on and you heard me talking with or you saw me talking with no sound and nobody said anything? Guys, say something to me. Like I can see you commenting and I would have appreciated it because I was like, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, guys, thank you for popping back on here. Now I actually see there are people that are staying and not leaving. But today's topic, we're going to talk about better work-life integration with your PR agency. And I'm going to quickly introduce myself. I'm Jen Burson. I'm the founder of Generation PR and the creator of the Profitable PR Pros group and an entire suite of products. Oh no, Lindsay. Yeah, nope, totally on my end, like a total dum-dum. I was like, why is that flashing? Oh, and at the end I unmuted and I was like, I just did an entire Facebook Live with no sound. Awesome. Like amateur hour over here. I've been doing Facebook Lives for like 4+ years. I don't know. Totally dumb. Anyway, Lindsay, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming back. But you guys know that I have this amazing Facebook group with just an incredible, engaging group of PR professionals. And then I offer different programs to help support you in your journey towards building an awesome career in PR. And ultimately my goal for you is to build your own agency. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I quickly want to mention, look at all my people. Okay, God, anyone who was here before, if you just popped on and you didn't hear me, it was on my end because I was muted. Total pro. I want to mention, if you have not signed up already, we are launching our 3-part PR Path to Profitability training series, totally free. It's going to be live. So I will be giving each presentation each day live so you can engage, interact. And we have a private Facebook group and a workbook. So my goal for you is if we spend this time together, then we are going to make it actionable and totally worth your time. Like my number one thing in life is don't ever waste my time. I get super annoyed with anybody who like wastes my time. So, and I realize I'm babbling right now, wasting your time, but sign up. And in order to do that, you can click the link in the caption or you can leave a comment and you'll trigger our bot. We have like a fancy bot that will walk you through how to get enrolled and we will get you going there. So today talking about work-life integration with your PR agency. And I love this topic. And I want to quickly talk about how I got here so you understand this process and the decisions that went in along the way. So back around the time I was 27, I was dating my husband. And I was still practicing law. So I was a civil litigation attorney at a really large law firm. And when I was with Kevin, I started to think about my future and thinking that I wanted to get married and, get married to him and have kids. And then I looked around for like the woman that I could model my life after. Like who is the partner here who's super well respected? Speaking of children, here is one, the little one. Hi. Hi. Go look downstairs. There's like a bunch of boxes that just came for the pantry. We have been binge watching. We've been binge watching the Home Edits show on Netflix. My kids are so into it. And we've spent the last 3 days ripping our whole house apart, organizing every little nook and cranny. And I bought a bunch of pantry bins at Target and they each came in one box. I got 5 of them. So there's 5 gigantic boxes downstairs, and he just finished school for the day. So hopefully he'll get started on organizing the pantry. So yes, my children, they're here homeschooling. So lucky to have my firm and been able to work from home my entire career, because we are completely well positioned for what the reality is with this pandemic. And part of this discussion is the vision that I wanted to have for myself in my life, and being a present and checked in parent. I did not see that in my law firm. Essentially, what would happen is women would get pregnant. Oh, we're going to throw a baby shower for you. We love you. We love you. So great. So exciting. You'll come back when you have your baby. And they would come back part-time, and then eventually just never see them again, phased out, or they would never see their children. They would be partners and like work all hours of the night. And it was almost like a badge of honor that the firm, the male partners would say, oh, she's super committed to this firm. We really respect her decision to be so committed. And it was almost like she doesn't see her children because she's so committed to us. And I thought, that is total crap. I don't want that. That's not the future I see for myself. So maybe that was what it was like 16 years ago. I haven't practiced law in a very long time, but back then it did not seem like that was possible for me. So, and I realized that growing up, my vision, my parents, my like model for what a family life was like, was that my parents were always there. My parents were both self-employed. My mom has a master's degree in elementary education and reading improvement, which makes her a super awesome booma. She's Booma Claudia. I know she watches. Hi, Mom. And she helps my kids with reading and stuff, and it's great. And after she stopped teaching, she was a real estate agent. So she had flexibility and, all of that good stuff. And my dad is a car broker, and he always set his own hours. So the reality of that, which was super cool, was that they were always there for us. We had family dinners each night. They went to our school performances. They picked me up from art class. It was just my vision that was the model for the family life I had, was that I would always be the kind of mom that could be there for my kids. And that was not a possibility with my former career in law. It just wasn't. And so I realized when I made this pivot that the number one factor of success now for me is being in control of my time. Back then, success was, when I just started out, it was like, you're in a prestigious job. You work at this great law firm. Oh, you passed the bar the first time. Like, so that's so wonderful. Oh, you're, making 150, like market rate as an attorney. And everybody knows the market rate when you're, getting jobs in law, $150,000. So you're right out of law school first year and you're making that kind of money. Like, you're successful, right? But I didn't feel like I had reached the place that I needed to be to have the kind of life I wanted. And so my definition of success changed. And to me, it was, being in charge of my time, working on things I loved that lit me up, that I was excited about. And, that was my new vision. So, and the other thing was being really happy to go to work every single day. So I started my PR agency kind of out of thin air. There's a whole backstory to it. Maybe you've heard it. I'll tell it another time. But in the beginning, when I made this shift, I really struggled with setting boundaries. And I recently shared a story in our Facebook group, Profitable PR Pros. You are a member of Profitable PR Pros, right? But back in the day, I had no boundaries. I would answer texts nights and weekends. I would work all hours of the night. I would always think like, just one more email. If I just send one more email, I'll get one more response in the morning, which is great because the harder you work, it is building your own thing. But we'll talk about hard work and hustle at the end of this chat, but it's a story you're telling yourself, right? But I used to answer nights and weekends, fully responsive, jumping like, give me a thumbs up if you have ever had that feeling of like you get an email from a client after hours and you stop what you're doing and you have this like instant panic moment, like you have to reply to them immediately. Let me know if that's ever happened to you. I know. So that is a lack of boundaries. And my biggest lack of boundaries story we recently shared was when I brought home my second son from the hospital. the next day, my client showed up at my house. So a local manufacturer, the CEO and I had a good connection. But I realized that she came to my house with a present. Oh, I have a present for the baby. And it was a way for her to put her thumb on me a bit and say, you know what? Your time is not your own. She came in, we sat on the couch just to have a chat about stuff, and was a 4 hours, you guys, strategy session about what we were going to do moving forward with the business, to, promote her products or brand. My oldest, longest running client. And the CEO essentially was sending me a message that was like, your time is not your own. You have this baby. Don't get too comfortable because you still work for me. And it was in that moment, I shared the story, read it. It's shocking, but I swear to God, it's all true. I was just like, what the F is happening? This is not okay. This is not okay. How did I let myself get in that situation? My kid was screaming, this new baby with this shriek that sounded like a pterodactyl dying. It was like, blah, because I was nursing and I couldn't even leave this meeting. And I had a nanny at the time. It was my second son. So she was running through the house trying to figure out what to feed this kid, peeking her head in. And I was going like this, because I couldn't nurse him because this woman was at my house. I couldn't be like, hey, I just didn't have the confidence back then to stand up for myself and know what was right. And it was a lack of boundaries. So, I realized that those boundary setting and creating this vision for your life and your business serving each other, those are decisions, right? So if you're going to go to the effort to create your own business and you're working so hard to have this business and you want it to support your lifestyle, if you are going to kill yourself to have this business working all hours of the day, drop of a hat, responding to clients, it doesn't have to be that way, and it's totally a choice. And I promise you that you don't have to be that way to be successful. That is a story that you're telling yourself. If you think that hard work and hustle is required to be successful, that's a story. It's a recipe for burnout. And I would say that our business became more successful when we implemented boundaries. We had a clear vision for what it would take to be effective during a certain period of time of the day, not working nights and weekends, and creating a whole life vision for balance between work, running my business and being a mom. That's now what it takes to be successful. So what it takes is setting up your business in a certain way, knowing how to price your services so that you can build a team that will support you, knowing how to charge for your services, which also means not discounting, which is what we, have talked about. I think last week we talked about discounting services, or maybe we talked about saying no. They go hand in hand. When you discount your services, you're losing money, you're expending energy that does not build towards the vision you have for the kind of life you want. Sometimes you have to, so what you do is you start with a vision for your business serving your life and what you want your life to look like. And then decisions become easy. Whether you discount that rate, it's a simple decision. There's actually a process you go through to make those decisions. But when you have a clear vision code, the decisions are so much easier. Does this serve the vision I have for my business and my life? No? Then it's a clear no. So when you set up your business in a certain way, you know how to price for your services. You bring in a team to support you. Like I said in my last live that got completely cut because I wasn't actually having sound. We know how to charge for our services and have a team. And, I don't actually do any of the pitching anymore. That was what I said in my last one. So I don't. I mention it all the time. I am not the one doing the pitching in my agency. I know how, obviously. And I did it for many, many, many years. There are people more effective than me, more efficient. It's not what I love. It's not my zone of genius. I love strategy. I love client, services, new business development. That's what I love. I want to build the business. So I'm out of the day to day and I'm working on the business, not in the business. And I have a team and I have the best of the best on my team, and I'm able to pay them because I know what it costs us to provide these services and still be profitable. So it starts with your vision. It starts with setting an income goal and knowing what you want to make, and then understanding what it takes to actually implement the services so you know how to charge. Because I got news for you. If your revenue is $100,000 and it costs you $80,000 to run your business, you're not making any money. $20,000 is not even a, minimum wage. Why are you doing it? You have to know. Like, I've had women come into our agency accelerator and I'm like, have you done the math on what you're actually making? Like, everyone on your team is making more money than you. Like, this is not working out in your favor. Go get a job. Don't work so hard to like not make any money. So my goal for you is to create a business that you still love 15 years from now, which I still love my business after 15 years. I take 5 steps to walk up the stairs from my bedroom to my office, and I'm so happy to be in my job every day. I love getting press for our clients. I love winning new business. 15 years. That's from making strategic decisions and building a business in an intentional way and creating a vision for myself and making decisions from that vision so that I know that I am serving myself in a way where I'm not going to get burnt out. I'm not going to allow clients to dictate how I run my business. And it's very simple. So it starts with the vision code. You have to know what your goal is, how much money you want to make, what it costs to execute these services. We're going to talk about all this stuff in the 3-part Path to Profitability series we kick off on the 24th. Between then and now, I want you to think about between now and then, I should say, I want you to think about the business that you want to build and how you want it to serve your life. So for me, it was all about being a present and checked in parent like my parents were for me. And realizing that law was never going to serve that vision. I know for sure that if I was still practicing law, I would have missed a lot of things, not just time with my kids. I'm room mom, I've been art docent, I'm always available for helping them now. I have to like help them during the day with schoolwork and homework, and it's so weird. I'm like, it's all homework, but it's like they still have homework. It's so nuts. They have so much work. And, missing things like that, where I wouldn't be able to go to school to see a holiday show or be home for them when they come home from school. But also missing like being in a mommy and me class when my son was little. I got to see him compared with his peers, like meaning what milestones are they at and where was my son missing milestones? And he had significant developmental delays. Like I'm talking at 9 months old, he was 6 months delayed. So I wouldn't have known that. I was a first time mom. You don't know anything. You're just like, just going off instinct, trying to keep this baby alive. Like I started to notice that he was delayed against his peers and then realized he needed help and I needed to get him early intervention. And I got him services through the regional center and got him an OT. I would not have seen that if I wasn't able to be really checked into what his milestones were as a new mom. Ultimately, he got an autism diagnosis and we've had him in intervention this entire time. And now he's 10 years old. He literally like logs into Google Classroom. He's super tech savvy. He, just took a math test all on his own. We checked his work. He missed one problem and some pretty complicated math and has an amazing peer group. They're so awesome to him. I don't know what it would have been like if we didn't get him early intervention. And I'm really proud of that. So I realize that decision that I made to go into business for myself and to be in charge of my time and set up my business in a certain way where we could still be really profitable, work with amazing clients, have an incredible team to help us do that, and still be the kind of mom and the kind of wife that, I ultimately knew that I wanted to be for my family, that started with a clear vision and making those decisions along the way. So that's the stuff I'm going to talk about in our path to profitability. And I even share the 4-pillar framework. You'll see all of the pieces that go into, it's like an entire roadmap for how to launch, grow, and scale a profitable agency. It's exactly every single thing that I do in my business to make it profitable on our terms. So, that's the work-life integration discussion and what it's evolved like for me in my business. And I'm so proud of where we are, and because it served me so well, I just love sharing it. So I know that we can all run profitable agencies on our terms. I know there are simple tweaks we can make to make our careers more fulfilling and more fun and not suck the life out of you. Like if you're going to build a business that is draining you, not really profitable, don't do it. Go get a job. It's a lot less stressful, So, but if you want to build a wildly profitable business, the first step is signing up for our 3-part training series we kick off on September 24th, which is so soon. Oh my God, I didn't even realize. I will probably be organizing every nook and cranny of my entire house between then and now. But I promise you the presentation is going to be locked down and looking really, really good, and going to be a really good time spent together. So thanks for joining me here. Anybody who came back after my total snafu with no audio, I really appreciate you checking back in. That was super amateur hour. But yeah, join me in this process to create a vision for your life that has your business serving you in the best way possible. And let's do it together. So sign up for Path to Profitability. You can either leave a comment or click the link here, get taken to BuzzBot, our chatbot messenger, and get you signed up there and get you a workbook, get you into our Facebook group, and I will see you live on the 24th. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week.